Well, I came up here and really told you that the display that Arsenal really put up when they are beating Monaco by 3 goals to 0 in the midweek was not all that convincing. And all I anticipated was a fired up Arsenal with fire in their bellies to obviously come up and obviously annihilate Everton. But guess what? By the end of the 90th minute, the game has ended 0-0. And that is really very saddening for the club of Arsenal. If you know the results that have happened at the side of Liverpool, obviously, you would have gone ahead obviously know that, all right, maybe Arsenal needed to obviously register something positive out of this encounter. But full time, Arsenal 0, Everton 0. In a game I predicted that it would end 3-1 in favour of Arsenal, but Arsenal looked like they're short of ideas. And the manager did substitutions that I never really went ahead to obviously acknowledge, me as a person who was really watching in the game of football, because there are things you cannot do. Welcome to the Rokani Media Football. How are you guys and where are you watching us from? I know Arsenal fans, you're irritated because you had the chance to obviously close in on Liverpool again. Now, twice has Arsenal had chances to close down on Liverpool and they haven't. You know, Arsenal has dropped 4 points in 2 consecutive games. And I'm telling you, if Arsenal continue to play like this in the remaining 3 games, obviously end half of the season, it will be hard for me to come out and obviously say they are still on the trophy, because these games are really easy. You know, they've gone ahead to overcome big teams and they're really failing to obviously beat these small teams. Even at the Emirates, all right, Fulham at home, all right, 0-1-1, we obviously forget that. But when it comes to Emirates hosting Everton and Arsenal drops 2 points, to make it worse, Arsenal couldn't score a goal in that game. I tell you, it's signaling to the manager. And I tell you what, Arteta's time is really toughening at the club of Arsenal. I tell you this because he's failing to make ends meet. I tell you this. Arteta is failing to make ends meet. How? Liverpool never played over the weekend against Everton. If Arsenal played and won, they would have gone ahead to go 4 points behind the side of Liverpool. Today, Liverpool has drawn to 2, meaning that if Arsenal had won, you know, they would have gone ahead obviously closing again on Liverpool. Liverpool would have gone ahead to obviously add on 1 point to the 4 that Arsenal was really behind them. And if Arsenal adds 3, 2 points behind Liverpool. And I've been evident, and I've already told people that Liverpool drop points. This trophy is not yet done because there are moments where teams are really gonna have a very bad moment. And I tell you, every team faces that in the due course of the season. But how does your team really overcome such moments? That is the most important bit of it all. And I tell you what, Arsenal drawing with Everton is really a very big loss, because now it's really very threatening that if at all the side of City really wins against Manchester United tomorrow, they might be really closing in on Arsenal. So because Arsenal is having 30 points, so and they are 6 points behind Liverpool. So we're waiting to see how that pans out. But I think for me, the starting 11 wasn't. I had no problem with the starting 11 because at this level, rotation is really key if at all you want to keep your players fit and obviously see that they reserve themselves for the better of the season. You understand? But where Arteta gets it wrong are the substitutions. One, in a game like that, where your opponent you're playing is parking the bus, how would you take off your best creator, whom you can rest in the midweek? Because midweek they are playing about Crystal Palace, you know, and in that game you can even come and start Nwaneri to play as your number 10. But he took him off, and when he took him off, you saw to it that Arsenal lacked that killer instinct, because when Odegaard was there, you saw to it that he was trying to obviously do those intricate passes or line breaking passes that really opened up that central defense of the side of Everton. And every time Odegaard gets the ball, 2 players or 3 obviously crowd alongside him, but this time around when he was off, things went ahead to obviously not happen the right way. And I was like, how do you take off Odegaard and you leave Gabriel Martinelli on? All what he needed was get on Leandro Trossard, get Leandro Trossard on the left, because he has all what it takes to obviously really produce a moment of magic, because there was no space for Martinelli to run, and all not to it that Martinelli acts well when he's really having space, but space was closed and you needed a press-resistant player to obviously play onto that side. And I tell you what, Arteta got it wrong on the substitutions, and to show you that he got it wrong, he first took off Declan Rice and Martin Odegaard and brought on Nwaneri, and he brought on Nwaneri and Jorginho, and I thought that it was not really right. I thought the best person to bring on was supposed to be Thomas Partey. Throw Thomas Partey in the midfield, alongside him, add Odegaard, add Nwaneri. You get, if you are taking off Declan Rice, put Partey in the midfield, CDM, and let Nwaneri and Martin Odegaard play into that, all those two attacking, central attacking roles in the midfield. You understand? Then, I think when you take off when you put Julian Tim on the left, I think his creativity is really limited. So leave him on the right and bring in Tierney to play as the left back. And it's today that I've confirmed Tierney is not in the plans of the manager. That is it. In that game, you never know what a traditional left back in Tierney would pull out, because you anticipate that when he overlaps, he'll put in crosses. That is it. And for sure, you'll get those crosses. But the manager was like, I'm not interested in that. I feel like I'll break it down, because all Arsenal needed to do was to expand the pitch on either sides. Expand it with Saka on the other side, that is the out wide right, and expand it on the left with Tierney. Then let Trossard play into the left half space. That's what I really anticipated to see from the manager of Arsenal. But all in all, he made his changes, and I don't know exactly what was on his mind, but those substitutions, I think, costed him the game. And Arsenal lost the game not because of the players. I think the manager got the substitutions wrong. In such a game of football, you are the Emirates, you've heard that Liverpool is losing, then why don't you really show your tactics? And this is what I've always gone ahead to obviously complain about this manager, that he doesn't have a plan B. If his plan A fails, and B, he has no other plans. Set pieces, and obviously playing around and knocking the ball around. But you can't take off your best creative player off the pitch. And you saw to it what happened when Odegaard was off. Did Arsenal threaten Everton anymore? Everton were like, all right, thank you very much for taking off Martin Odegaard. You get? And what's the reason of taking off Martin Odegaard? In the game of Crystal Palace in the midweek, you don't need him. Arsenal can win that game without Martin Odegaard. Or maybe the manager's brain is like, I've taken long without winning a silverware. I should obviously lift a trophy, maybe, to obviously calm down on the pressure. But you would obviously play Martin Odegaard until Arsenal got a goal, because when Martin Odegaard is on the pitch, you 100% think that there is a chance that he's really going to create, because this guy can create nothing, can create something from nothing. That is Martin Odegaard for you. So is Arteta's mind onto the Carabao Cup, knocking out Crystal Palace to go in the semi-finals and obviously play final and see whether his team really wins the trophy? Because I tell you, for the years has been here, he has only gone ahead to lift the FA Cup and the Community Shield, and he last won the FA Cup in 2020, which means that question marks are really going to be on him, that he's not winning anything. And I've gone ahead to see people say, if Erik ten Hag was sacked, who won a Carabao Cup and an FA Cup, and he played in like 3 finals, what is Arteta still doing at the club of Arsenal? So, looks like pressure has gotten onto the head of Mikel Arteta. You get? And as it stands, he's not giving himself a chance. He's acting like a person who's not giving himself a chance. So, as it stands, I don't think that Arteta has room to do any mistakes again, because that game outside there, it's all about the manager. All about the manager. All about the manager. Because you take out a player like Martin Odegaard and you risk yourself with Nwaneri. If you had playing Nwaneri into your thoughts, he has to be on the pitch with Martin Odegaard, because Odegaard will take away the attention and Waneri will obviously try to really exploit those spaces, because they're not going to be threatened about him. You needed to obviously press certain buttons that I believe Arteta is not really pressing, and this really leaves question mark onto his job that he's really doing at the club of Arsenal. But for Everton, Sean Dyche, kudos to him, because he put in a very, very rock solid performance in there for you. And I tell you what, he really performed very well, because he had really traveled to Manchester United for nil, and Arsenal have gone ahead to obviously draw points. And I think for him as a manager, he's really elated to really have such a result, But I know the reason as to why everything never went on as planned. You know why? The manager failed to obviously do the right substitutions. But if he does the right substitutions, I think if he did the right substitutions, he would have gone ahead to win this game. I tell you. It was an Arsenal win written all over the wall, but the manager let his team down. Let's go to the stats and see how it all went down at the Stadium of the Emirates. 13 shots by Arsenal, Everton had 2. 5 shots on target by Arsenal, Everton had 0. 77% possession by the club of Arsenal, 22% ball possession by Everton. 682 passes completed by Arsenal, 209 passes completed by Everton, 92% passing accuracy by Arsenal, 71% passing accuracy by Everton. I've already told you, however much you really have a lion's share of the possession of the ball, and you don't really use that possession to obviously get you goals, it's nothing. That is no work done, zero work done, Zero red cards, zero yellow cards to Arsenal, 3 to Everton. 5 offsides to Arsenal, 3 offsides to Everton. 8 corners for Arsenal, and 2 corners for the side of Everton. And I've started to think that maybe this issue of Arsenal having what we call set-piece goals, maybe it has gone ahead to reduce its creativity, because in the previous 3 games they've gone ahead to play in the Premier League, they've gone ahead to score, I think, 4 set pieces, 2 against Manchester United, I think 1 against West Ham, and 1 against Fulham. So, looks like their creativity is really shrinking because of these so-called set pieces that they failed to execute. Out of 8 corners, they couldn't obviously bury any into the back of the net, even if Gabriel Magalhaes, who has 3 set-piece goals in the Premier League from corners, returned into the mix. Liverpool topping the table with 36 points, 15 games. Chelsea, if they win tomorrow, they'll be at 34 points, closing down on Liverpool. Arsenal has played 16 games. They have 30 points, meaning that there's 6 points in there for you. If City win the game they have in hand, they'll obviously be 9 points ahead of Arsenal. Man City, 15 points, playing Manchester United tomorrow. And if they beat Man United, they'll go tie with the side of Arsenal. So that's how the table is. And for Everton, they are into the 15th position of the league. So that's what transpired at Emirates, but it's very disappointing, a missed opportunity for Arsenal to close down on Liverpool again, because if Arsenal added 2 more, they would have gone ahead to be 4 points behind Liverpool, but they are still 6 points behind Liverpool. Not all sounding bad, but if they continue to go on such a run, I tell you what, I will come out and tell you I don't think Arsenal can obviously come up and obviously win the trophy. Rokani David is my name. I sign out for now. See you later. Off to United Matters channel to do the match preview of Manchester United versus, hear me out, United versus Man City. Bye-bye.